before the Megalodon stalked the seas, before Tyrannosaurus Rex ever walked on land, long before trees covered the continents. There was a predator so strange, so heavily armored, that it looked like something designed by accident. It had no teeth. Instead, it had blades, self-sharpening bone weapons built into its skull. It didn't rely on speed or stealth, it relied on force. This is the story of Dunkleosteus, the most terrifying animal to ever rule Earth's oceans. To understand Dunkleosteus, you have to imagine the world it lived in. About 360 million years ago, during a time scientists call the Devonian period, life was exploding with new experiments. Fish were evolving in every direction, bigger, harder, faster, stranger. The oceans were crowded, competition was fierce, and survival depended on protection. Soft-bodied animals didn't last long. So many fish began growing armor, thick plates of bone that covered their heads and bodies. These fish are known as placoderms, meaning plate-skinned. And among them, one species went further than all the others. Dunkleosteus wasn't just armored, it was built like a tank. Its head and upper body were wrapped in massive slabs of bone. Some plates were several inches thick. This wasn't decoration, this was protection against a world filled with predators trying to tear each other apart. But heavy armor comes with a problem: weight. Armor alone doesn't make you a top predator, you still have to eat. Most predators use teeth, but teeth break, they fall out, they wear down. Dunkleosteus took a different path. Instead of teeth, it evolved two pairs of sharp bone plates at the front of its mouth. These plates worked like giant knives. Every time the animal opened and closed its jaws, those plates rubbed against each other, naturally sharpening themselves. The result? A permanent set of razor blades that never dulled. But the real nightmare wasn't just the sharpness, it was speed. Dunkleosteus had one of the most advanced jaw systems ever seen in an animal. Its mouth didn't just open, it snapped open in a fraction of a second. That sudden movement created suction, pulling prey straight in. By the time a victim realized what was happening, it was already inside the mouth. The Devonian seas weren't full of soft prey. Many animals had shells, plates, and thick skin. To eat them, a predator had to break them. Dunkleosteus could. Scientists estimate its bite force reached 6,000 to 8,000 pounds per square inch. To put that in simple terms, a human bite about 160 psi. A great white shark around 4,000 psi. Dunkleosteus far more. This wasn't a bite meant to hold on. It was meant to crush. Shells shattered, armor cracked, bones failed. For smaller armored fish, their protection didn't save them, it made them easier to grab. For years, scientists thought Dunkleosteus must have been slow. After all, how could something so heavily armored move quickly? But newer research tells a different story. While its head was massive and protected, its body was likely streamlined and muscular. It probably didn't crawl along the seafloor, it hunted. Dunkleosteus could grow up to 30 feet long and weigh several tons. To survive at that size, it needed constant food. That means it had to move, it had to chase, it had to ambush. Its powerful tail likely allowed it to launch sudden attacks, closing the distance before prey could escape. This wasn't a clumsy giant, it was a precision weapon. In the Devonian ocean, survival wasn't gentle. Even among Dunkleosteus, there was no mercy. Fossils show that after feeding, Dunkleosteuses sometimes vomited up hard, undigested balls of bone called boluses. Inside those boluses, scientists have found the remains of other armored fish, sometimes even other Dunkleosteuses. When food was scarce, the biggest predator simply ate whatever it could, including rivals. There were no rules, no limits, only survival. This made Dunkleosteus more than just an apex predator, it made it unstoppable. While Dunkleosteus dominated the seas, another group of fish was quietly evolving, early sharks. At the time, sharks were small and unimpressive. They didn't have armor, they didn't have crushing bites, but they had something Dunkleosteus didn't: lightweight bodies. Sharks were built from cartilage instead of bone. That made them faster, more flexible, and more efficient. They didn't try to fight Dunkleosteus head-on. They didn't need to. They survived by adapting, and that difference would matter. No predator rules forever. Near the end of the Devonian period, Earth was hit by a massive environmental crisis called the Hindenburg event. Oxygen levels in the oceans dropped. Temperatures fluctuated wildly. Entire food chains collapsed. For smaller, flexible animals, survival was difficult but possible. For giants like Dunkleosteus, it was deadly. A body that large needs constant fuel. When prey vanished, the energy demand stayed the same. Armor couldn't save it. Strength couldn't save it. Dunkleosteus vanished. So did nearly all placoderms. The armored rulers of the sea were gone. Even though Dunkleosteus went extinct, its influence didn't. One of its greatest contributions to life on Earth was the true jaw. Before placoderms, most animals fed by filtering or sucking in food. Dunkleosteus showed that jaws could be weapons, capable of crushing, slicing, and tearing. That idea changed everything. Every jawed animal alive today, fish, reptiles, birds, mammals, humans, descends from that innovation. The armor failed, the jaw succeeded. Evolution kept what worked. There's a lesson hidden in the story of Dunkleosteus. Being perfectly suited to one world can be dangerous. Dunkleosteus was built for a warm, oxygen-rich ocean full of armored prey. When that world changed, it couldn't change fast enough. Smaller animals survived because they were adaptable. They needed less food. They moved faster. They adjusted. History shows this pattern again and again. The biggest predators often dominate until conditions shift. Then they disappear. Dunkleosteus may be gone, but its shadow remains. Engineers today still design crushing tools that mimic its jaw mechanics. Modern machines use the same principles of leverage and pressure. Nature solved these problems long before humans tried. Dunkleosteus was one of evolution's boldest experiments, a creature built not for speed or elegance, but for absolute power. And while it ruled the seas for millions of years, its story reminds us of something important. Survival doesn't belong to the strongest forever. It belongs to the adaptable. Dunkleosteus wasn't just a monster, it was a warning, a reminder that dominance can become a trap. That perfection in one era can mean extinction in the next. It was one of the most alien predators to ever live, not because of how it looked, but because of how it worked. A living machine made of bone, and even now, hundreds of millions of years later, the world still carries the marks of its reign. Not in the oceans, but in ourselves. Every time an animal bites, tears, chews, or crushes, it is echoing a solution first proven in the Devonian seas. The basic idea behind jaws, the leverage, the pressure, the coordination of bone and muscle, was tested at an extreme scale by creatures like Dunkleosteus. Evolution doesn't forget successful ideas. It stores them, simplifies them, and passes them on. That's why Dunkleosteus matters. It wasn't just a dead end. It was a proving ground. When Dunkleosteus vanished, the oceans didn't become safer, they became more efficient. With the armored giants gone, smaller fish spread rapidly. Sharks diversified, bony fish evolved into thousands of shapes and lifestyles. Some became fast hunters, others became bottom feeders, some stayed small, some grew large. But none returned to the extreme armor and weight strategy of the placoderms. Why? Because the planet had changed. Oxygen levels never fully returned to their Devonian highs. Food chains became less predictable. Survival now favored animals that could handle sudden shortages, temperature swings, and changing habitats. Flexibility beat power. The age of giants gave way to the age of survivors. It's tempting to think evolution prefers the biggest, strongest, scariest animals. It doesn't. Evolution only cares about one thing: what works right now. Dunkleosteus worked perfectly for millions of years. It was not a failure. It dominated longer than humans have existed as a species. But when conditions shifted, its advantages turned into weaknesses. Its armor cost too much energy. Its size demanded too much food. Its design left no room for adjustment. Evolution didn't punish it. Evolution simply moved on. This story isn't unique to Dunkleosteus. We see it over and over in Earth's history. Giant insects vanished when oxygen levels dropped. Massive dinosaurs disappeared when ecosystems collapsed. Enormous marine reptiles vanished as oceans cooled. Each time, smaller adaptable creatures survived and diversified. The planet doesn't reward dominance forever. It rewards balance. If Dunkleosteus represents raw power, sharks represent restraint. Sharks never needed armor. They never needed the strongest bite in history. They never needed to rule everything. They just needed to survive. By staying lightweight and efficient, sharks lasted through multiple mass extinctions. They outlived Dunkleosteus. They outlived the dinosaurs. They are still here, not because they were the best, because they were adaptable. The story of Dunkleosteus feels ancient, but the lesson is modern. Any system, biological or otherwise, that becomes too specialized risks collapse when conditions change. Nature teaches this lesson without mercy. When something becomes too big, too rigid, too dependent on perfect conditions, it doesn't matter how powerful it once was. Change always wins. So, why does Dunkleosteus still capture our imagination? Because it represents an extreme. It shows us what happens when evolution removes all limits and lets power run free. It's a glimpse into a world where survival meant breaking everything in your path. We are drawn to that idea because it feels unstoppable. But deep time reminds us nothing is. Even in extinction, Dunkleosteus shaped the world that followed. Its jaw design became the foundation for modern mouths. Its bite mechanics inspired countless evolutionary paths. Its dominance forced other species to evolve defenses, speed, and intelligence. In trying to survive against it, life became more complex. In that way, Dunkleosteus didn't just rule its world, it forced the next one into existence. Dunkleosteus was not a mistake, it was an experiment in power, in armor, in crushing force taken to its limit. And like many experiments, it taught evolution what not to do forever. The oceans today are quieter because of it, more diverse because of it, more balanced because of it. And somewhere, deep beneath the surface of time, the echo of its bite still lingers, reminding us that even the most terrifying creatures are only temporary answers to a changing world.